Hey everyone, good to see you on the huddle. We are in Orlando, Florida, and I'm here with Jason, who's the store manager at Ammon, Idaho.
Ammon, Idaho.
Ammon, Idaho. Make sure I get the name exactly right. But the cool thing, Jason, you've been the store manager there for 20 years.
Correct.
Yeah, pretty rare when you find someone that's been running a store that long. It's fantastic because you know the community, you know the town, you know all of your associates well. But we wanted to get together and talk about pickup in particular, pickup and delivery in the supercenters and the neighborhood markets. And I wanted to bring Jason on because from 2005 until now, he was the store manager. We launched the service about 8 years ago, 9 years ago
in the store.
And there's a pretty cool story here because a year ago, 2 years ago actually, we started talking about how do we recognize the stores, the associates that have made a lot of progress in pickup. And so we just picked a number. And we just said, let's find any store, if there are any, that did $25 million a year in pickup. But we found one. There's also in Idaho, or your region, not exactly your store, but close. Then a year later, we had 17, and so we recognized those 17 at this meeting. Well, this year we have almost 200. We have 170. So we can't recognize everyone here because it'll take the entire time to do it. But the change in the growth it's just been extraordinary to see what customers have gravitated to, what they moved to. So I'd like to talk to you about where this all started 8 years ago in your store. What was it like when it first opened? You got started. Did you ever think we'd be doing what you're doing today? Almost $30 million a year in sales.
Yeah, we just did over $30 million this year in sales, which is phenomenal. We never would have dreamed 8 years ago when we started this that we'd be doing that. As I look back, I remember we had 12 associates that we started, and our goal was 30 orders a day.
30 a day, 12 associates.
12 associates, 30 a day, that's 2 or 3 orders an hour.
Yeah.
So, that's where we started.
Which probably seemed hard at the time.
Yeah. And it was hard. But, slowly it crept up, and today we'll do 6,500 orders a week on a busy week. Some days we'll do 1,000 orders a day.
1,000 a day.
So you think of those numbers. If 8 years ago, I never would have ever believed or fathomed we'd be able to do that.
Yeah, and how many associates are working in pickup delivery in the store?
Well, we went from 12 to start with, and now right now we have 140 associates. Through the holidays, we'll have 160 associates working just in pickup and delivery.
It's pretty amazing. People don't always realize how many people work in the stores and how it's changed over the years. And these are jobs that before pickup didn't even exist. So the first 12 are 12 new, and now it's 140 and continues to grow.
Yeah, unbelievable. In fact, when we first started this, that was one of my biggest concerns is how in the world are we going to pay for that? Mm-hmm. And we had to shift as a company and move cashiers over there or pull them from other areas to make up for that. But we figured a way to do that.
Yeah, I remember when we started, I was in another market when pickup launched outside the U.S. and I was in Sam's, but I remember hearing that their customers' biggest concern was, could someone else pick my produce for me or pick my fresh? And that seems to have worked itself out over time. But what was it like in the early days? What did you hear from customers?
It was a tough win because we had to gain that trust from our customers. First of all, we had to get them to try it, to get them to try the service, and we had to go to schools, go to nursing homes, wherever we could to talk about the service. And then we had to gain their trust, trust to pick their produce, and that's a tough one. But if we could win that and do it consistently, then we'd have them a customer for life.
Mm-hmm. And when you opened, what kind of space did we have it in?
Oh, it was just a corner of the stock room.
Yeah, just a little room.
A couple of bins in the back room.
Which is all the space we needed. And now what we keep doing over and over and over is we outgrow the space we have, and customers are telling us they love the service, they want more of it. We just launched pharmacy on pickup and pickup and delivery, or delivery, I should say. But that's been a great service as well. And so I think what we keep learning is customers are open to the idea, they're open to service. Of course, we've got to get it right, and when we don't, we have to make it up. So talk about the people that have worked in pickup over the years.
We've had a fantastic team, some very passionate, competitive associates in our pickup. Our leadership has been great. They really make me look good, but the team has just been phenomenal. And it makes others want to go work in that area.
Yeah, because they've been so successful.
Yes.
That's right. What have you learned about our drivers? We have our Spark drivers that, the cool thing about being a Spark driver is you can work when you want, you can work as much as you want. And we had a video yesterday we saw of a driver who she was driving, and she's going to school to be a nurse at the same time. So she could pull over, study, review some notes, take an order and go. But you have a little bit of experience with knowing some drivers, right?
I do. When we first started the delivery business, we couldn't get enough help to deliver our orders. So I talked my wife into
going and joining a third-party driving
the third-party driving, and so she started doing it, and I was like, I ought to hang out with her after work and go do some deliveries.
Yeah.
Boy, you talk about a different perspective and a different lens. You could really see how it was affecting the customers. You could see that this really made a difference to them. And several of them were like, oh, I love this. This is changing my life. It felt really good.
Yeah, so good experience to go
Great.
do the work.
Absolutely.
We always say it's our associates that know the most about the company, because they're the ones that are either doing the work or closest to the work. And I try to get stores every week and talk to our associates, learn what they're doing. But there's nothing like just going out and witnessing it, being a part of it.
No, it was awesome for me.
Yeah.
It made me extra passionate about the business. It really did.
Your story, Jason's really cool, to go from not sure, doubting it, how we're going to pay for it, to $30 million a year in sales, which is as many as a lot of stores do in retail all over the country.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
Been a lot of fun, long journey. Congratulations. And unfortunately, we can't get all 170 on the stage, but we'll find a way to recognize everyone appropriately.
I got to recognize my team back at home. We got an awesome team in 1902.
For sure. Well, good to talk to you. Thanks for spending some time with us. And
thanks for having me on.
Really great job. Cool. Thanks.